This is a short yin practice to manipulate time. We as humans work on time. We have the changing of the seasons. We have the ending of a year. We run on day to night or dusk to dawn, our birth and death cycle, even as a woman, your menstrual cycle. There are all of these signifiers and patterns in great nature which mirror to us our own inner workings and how we relate to this world and this planet. And what happens is we get tripped up on time. We don't work with time. We want to work against time. We want to rush through our timelines. And in ancient, these sages and wise ones, what they taught us is in order to remove ourselves from time or bring our soul back into this moment is by simply that, is noticing time. And when the soul has recognition of time, they say it's like stealing the pearl of time from the dragon's mouth, is placing the awareness into the soul and giving it its essence, giving the soul its magic, its reason, its purpose. And your soul is not constricted by time or by pattern. And the ego is, and our humanness is run off of our ego. And we are human, so we will be organized by time. But we must give ourselves moments to be outside of time or be the mediator of time. So instead of living in the past, which for later years we live in the past, earlier years in life we really like to live in the future and what's to come. And so these practices bring us the capacity to be in the moment. And that's what our journey, our quest to enlightenment is about. It's all about these practices that bring us to the now. Be here now. And so when time starts to feel completely out of control, that you know and understand that you are the only way out of that vortex. You must bring yourself into your own inner nature and mediate that conundrum, mediate the dusk to dawn, mediate day to night, mediate the seasons of change, and give yourself a pause. Give yourself a moment. So we'll start by coming into a seat. You can sit back onto your heels. I like to sit on a block, so I have myself in a little downhill slope. And I want you to envision your breath right at the base of your spine, right at your pelvis. I want you to breathe your breath up your back, feeling the heat, the fire rising all the way up to the crown of the head. And a slow descent of the breath down the front of the body, like raindrops falling down toward the base of your pelvis. You take that breath and you rise it on the inhale up your back. Feel like heat rising. And exhaling down your front like water's descent. Water falling, a big rush. Costa Rican waterfall down to your pelvis. You continue to wrap yourself in your breath, right? The heat of fire. Fire rises from the embers, reaching up your back. Exhaling as you wrap yourself in your breath. Down the front of your body you go. Fire rising is the effort. Water falling is the grace. Somewhere between the two, you mediating the effort and the grace. mediating. The polarity of fire and water is you, right in your heart, right in your center. And then let that breath go. Over in your right hand is dawn, and your left hand is dusk. Starting with dawn on the inhale, wrapping around your back, over to dusk behind you, to your left hand. Inhaling around the front of your body, shoulder to shoulder, over towards your right hand for dawn. And around your back as you reflect what's behind you, what's in the past, as you move towards the darkness of dusk, over towards your left. And then there's that awakening, the lights around the front, left shoulder over towards right. You start again, dawn to dusk. Inhaling for dawn. Exhaling for the reflection of dusk. So now not only have you moved down and up, you're moving side to side. So you're moving more spherically, you're wrapping yourself in your breath. Right in the center of fire and water and dawn and dusk is you, right at your heart. So you're mediating great nature by awareness, by presence. You let all of that go, allowing your body to start to soften. All of the holding, start to relax. Moving into your first yin shape. Easy forward fold, extend your legs out. If you have a blanket nearby, take a micro bend in your knees. You may place it under your knees. I like to sit up on a blanket, right? So I have that little lift, allowing for that downhill slope and the tilt of the pelvis, the natural tilt of the pelvis. So knees are slightly bent, and you fold your way forward. If you have blocks or something to stack between the legs, that can be nourishing and make this shape a little more inviting and accessible. And as you move into your yin, you're finding that edge, so the space of 50 to 60% of your depth. So you're not, feeling any efforting here. It's a slight tug on the back of the hamstrings. And then we're holding for time in stillness, resisting the urge to really fidget or move. Starting to scan the body, relaxing it from head, eyebrow to eyebrow, cheeks, chin, neck, throats, all relaxed. Making space here for the kidneys and breathing in and out your low back. So relaxing your whole backside, relaxing your hips, your buttocks, your hamstrings, the backside of the knees, the calves, the feet, the backs of the hands, the backs of the arms, the shoulders, heavy. And then bring your awareness and your mind's eye back into the body and into the breath. Coming into the hips, the base of your spine, your whole pelvic floor. Start to breathe up your back, fire rising. Exhaling down your front like water falling. So you're using your breath as a means to mediate time and nature and patterns. Let yourself fully go there. Fully let go. In a society that is structured on time, can you be a rebel and dissolve any rigidity that time has placed on you? Surrender yourself to the greater one, the awareness, God, consciousness that is not restricted by time. The ego is chained in patterns and in time, chained in the past and in the future. But the soul is eternal. The soul is free. The soul thrives on freedom and awareness that time is an illusion. Right now, in this moment, everything is as it should be. The arms get heavier. The eyes are more relaxed. Maybe you move props as you descend into your shape. You're really getting into the connective tissue here, which is what allows for flexibility and really lengthens our body and muscles to bone and bone to bone. Within that connective tissue and fascia are our meridians, these energy channels that speak to and communicate to our organs. And so you're not only freeing the physical body, but you're moving into the subtle body, the energy body. Like peeling back the layers of an onion. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Taking an inhale, sitting up tall, pausing as you lift. Close the eyes. Gently sit yourself off of your blankets. I'm going to take my blanket towards the back of my mat, even off of the mat. It's quite stacked. As we move into plow pose, you may want something for the tops of your feet to land on as your feet roll back behind your head. If the earth is far from you and far from your feet, you can take something and stack it, a couple of pillows. And rolling on back, sending your legs behind your head. So my tops of my feet here are resting on my blanket. I'm taking my hands to the heels of my feet. So I have contact with myself. Contact is safety. So I'm coming into my little ball as I bend my knees and draw my knees towards my armpits. And my knees catch the armpits and the armpits catch the knees. If the hands around the heels is not available to you, you may have hands around the ankles, hands around the backside of the legs. The more you bend your knees, the more available the heels will become. The more you bend your knees, the more available your low back. So right now we're looking to breathe into our kidneys, right? Into the low back, into the sacrum. And gently walk your back of your skull a little longer so you're gently tucking chin towards your chest. If you feel that staying here for 2 to 3 minutes isn't so available, a block here is helpful, wedging it up towards your shoulders at an angle. So you have the flat part of the block resting at your mid-back. And so you have that same contact and surface for you to find your center, to mediate time. Taking a breath into your right armpit. Around your back, over towards your left armpit and the underside of your left knee. Breathing around the fronts, so behind the backs of the knees, and over towards your right armpit for dawn. Around the back of your shoulders to your left armpit for dusk. Wrapping around the front, so around the creases of the knees, over towards your right shoulder, back to dawn. Around your back, you inhale to dusk. Exhaling across the fronts. Inhaling around the front for dawn. Exhaling, wrapping yourself around your back over to the left armpit for dusk. Inhaling the dawn of a new day. Exhaling, reflecting into dusk. And the power of metaphor and visualization is it allows for the explicit body to have a relationship with the implicit and tap into spirit. And so you're no longer just a body, just a breath, but you feel your magic, the magic of presence and awareness. Put your soul back in your center. Take a deep breath in, full breath out. Removing your block if it's there. And slowly you roll all the way down. Taking your feet as wide as the mat, letting your knees knock in. Relaxing your sacrum. Your low back is spread. Fully contacting the earth, your mat. Breathing your belly, lifting your navel. Exhaling navel to spine. Bringing your soles of the feet to touch your knees wide, butterfly pose. You may take blocks under the outer sides of the knees, which can be, a little less comfortable than blankets or pillows. So if you have something softer, you may choose that. So coming into your edge, I like to wrap a blanket around the tops of my feet. So I'll come up towards the seats, bringing the soles of my feet down, knees up towards the sky, placing a blanket over the tops of my feet, kind of threading the ends of the blanket behind the shins, behind the calves, and pulling the ends of the blanket through. And then let my knees open wide so I have that boundary. Coming down onto my back, starting to breathe in and out from your groin, your pelvis. The hips gently open. The face is relaxed. The belly is soft. Scanning the body, relaxing against any tension and holding. Resting your tongue to the lower palate of your mouth. Jaw is relaxed. Softening expectations while you soften the body. The soul always knows. but we have to be quiet enough to listen. So if you feel yourself rushing into this next chapter of time, Ayurveda and all of these ancient sciences of yoga, that to heal, we must find balance. So if you find yourself rushing and racing, it's not to add more rushing and racing, it's doing the opposite. It's slowing down and pausing more and resting more. So you're not fighting fire with fire or water with water, but you're balancing and mediating. Taking a deep breath in, and a full breath out. Taking another one, inhale. Exhale. Take your hands outside of your knees, draw your knees into touch. Feet open wide, knees knock in. Yin is a wisdom practice, so you notice what's coming up for you. Rolling onto your left side. Coming into the fetal position. All the way up to a seat. Breathe in and out from your heart, your center, the center of your circumference. Bring your hands into prayer at your heart. Take a full round of breath. Breath out. The soul is eternal. The soul is not bound to time or space. The soul does not work linearly. If you feel lost, scattered, overwhelmed, or rushed, I hope you take your moments to pause, be aware of the present, be in the now. Thank you so much. Namaste.